Dawn rises over the paddy fields of Asia. Farmers start the day early, tending their crops as they have done for centuries, providing food for their families and for sale in local markets. Across Africa, millions of ordinary people prepare to go to work in local businesses, factories and markets. In Latin America, children get ready for school, brushing teeth, washing faces. Yet as all these men and women start their days around the world, one organization is holding talks which could destroy their future, their jobs, and their whole way of life. That organization is the World Trade Organization. In rural communities across Asia, millions of farmers have been forced to abandon their farms as a result of the free trade policies advocated by the WTO. Countries across Africa have seen their industries made bankrupt by the organization's favored free trade policies, with millions of jobs lost and millions of people thrown into long-term poverty. The WTO supports the liberalization of services such as water, health and education as a key element of free trade. Yet when multinational water companies took control of public services in Latin America, prices rose so much that the poor could no longer even afford basic water to drink. And in Europe, the WTO has ruled against key public health and environmental policies, such as the ban on importing beef injected with growth hormones, even when the scientific evidence says these bans should stay in place. The World Trade Organization was born in 1995, at the end of the Uruguay round of international trade talks. Its purpose? To open up markets across the world in the name of free trade, and to decide the punishment of any country which does not abide by its rules. It boasts that it is a democratic organization, based on the principle of one member, one vote. Yet the WTO has never held a vote. Instead, it allows the world's most powerful trading blocs, especially the European Union and USA, to bully poor countries into submission behind closed doors. The weakest are threatened with losing aid, debt relief or trading opportunities if they don't sign up to world trade agreements. So whose interests does the WTO really serve? The organization makes no secret of the fact that it acts primarily in the interest of big business. Many of its key agreements were actually written by corporate lobbyists first and adopted by governments later. The WTO's agreement on agriculture was drafted by the former vice president of Cargill, the world's largest privately owned corporation. The TRIPS agreement on intellectual property rights was first drafted by pharmaceutical and computing companies before being handed over to governments to sign. And without finance companies such as American Express and Citigroup, the General Agreement on Trade in Services, or GATS, would never have come into existence. But there is a resistance. Across the world, millions of people have taken action against the WTO. Farmers have taken to the streets alongside migrant labourers, factory workers, trade unionists and environmental campaigners to demand an end to the current round of world trade talks. They have one message for the corporations and their government apologists. Our world is not for sale. And the global movement has won important victories. The WTO was defeated in its recent attempt to expand into new issue areas, which would have opened up even bigger markets to corporate plunder. In the face of popular resistance, the WTO's own conferences collapsed in Seattle in 1999 and in Cancun in 2003. Join the fight against the WTO and its damaging free trade agenda. Together, we can build a better world.